Hey guys, thanks for joining. Let's just wait for 2 more minutes if anybody is, joining, and then we can start. Hey guys, good morning and good afternoon. Uh, I am Ranjana Verma, the business manager of Kanban Board and MMR at iNogic, and today we are presenting, a visual planning tool that can aid you with a lot of things. Uh, So let's just get started. Thanks for joining in, and I welcome you all to this webinar of ours. Before we start off with the webinar, let me just give you a few rules around this. So all lines would be muted throughout. If you have any questions or queries, you can just simply type them in the chat window. And at the end of the webinar, during our Q&A session, I will be happy to answer those, right? Now, before we start off with the tools for today, that is Kanban board and MMR, we have somewhere around 15 plus productivity apps that you can see over here, right? So iNogic is one of the leading ISV solution partners. We are in the industry for about 2 decades now, and these are few of our tools. And with continuous addition, we have WhatsApp for Dynamics, text SMS for Dynamics, live chat that is nothing but an integration with your Dynamics, right? Similarly, we do have dedupe, that is duplication prevention tool that helps you with a clean, concise data. So, uh, if you resonate with any of these tools, please feel free to reach out to us and we can help you with the same. We can have a live demonstration of the same. On the similar lines, we are also into offshore development. So, customizing your CRM, getting a new edition. If there's anything with respect to CRM that you want us to look into, we are happy to do that. The service division will be there to help you out, right? So this was a brief about my company, that is iNogic. Now let's move ahead with the agenda for today, right? So we'll keep the webinar as concise as possible. So just first, the understanding of why we need visualization, right? Then what are the key features that we are going to look, the live action of those key features, and then lastly the Q&A. That is, where I would be answering your questions, right? So the need of a productivity in CRM or visualization in CRM is, very clear that when you see a data in a proper tabular format or in a mind map view, you are able to decide or take decisions much more accurately rather than the read only data or the Excel sheets that we have, right? So when you see a pie chart or when you see a diagram, the decision making becomes much more faster. The meeting time is much more reduced because you are able to understand just by the visualize data what is going to happen, right? So it increases the visibility, it makes it much more efficient and flexible in decision making. And if there is any bottleneck, it also prevents that, right? When you see a blank, when you see in a pie chart, there's 10% blank data. So you there and there itself know that, you need to work on those blank data because there's something in that and people have not filled it, right? So it becomes very easy for you to have your decisions or to have your day planned accordingly, right? So having said that, what features are we going to look after, right? So today we are actually visualizing two of our tools. One is Kanban board and the other one is Map My Relationship, right? So these features, what I'll do is I'll put it on hold and let me just go to the live demonstration and we'll come back to revisit this one, right? So let me just go to the uh, yes, the CRM section of my tool. And let's just first start with Kanban board, right? So as I believe the screen is also visible, as you can see, I am in my sales hub over here. This is one of my opportunity that is, oh, sorry, one of the entity that is opportunity. And this is one of my view that is all opportunity view, right? So it has a lot of data. Now, to make it much more concise, what I've done is I've added the PCF control of Kanban. So here you see there are different lanes to this board, right? And each lane is actually one of the status of this opportunity, right? So it is nothing but the statuses of the opportunity that I have. Yes, and it is very much concise. I can see how much are won, how many are on hold, what is in progress, and then I can decide my day accordingly, how to focus and what to focus on, right? Now, a lot of you must, say that we don't want the statuses or the stages of opportunity. Rather, we have our own business flow and we work around that. And that is also possible with Kanban board, with our Kanban board. Here you have the option to select your business process flows. So here all your business process flows would be listed. You can decide which one to choose. Lead to opportunity is one of my flows that we use. Then sales process is again one of the flows that we use. So here if I shift it to sales process, you see the stages have changed. It is qualified, develop, propose, close, right? So these are the stages. These are the only four stages that have in this process flow. Whereas in the default board that is on the stages of opportunity, these are the ones, right? So you get to decide which one you want to have. Similarly, you have the option of global sorting as well. So if you want to sort with any of your, fields, it could be created on, it could be account name, anything for globally for the entire board, you can use this sorting method, right? Similarly, let's say you don't want to sort it for one of your, like for the global board, but rather you want to sort it for one of the lanes. So definitely we can go ahead with the lanes also. You can sort it out with respect to each of these lanes as well on based on any data or any field that you have here, right? Now this was all about the overview of the board. Now if let's look at the lanes concisely, right? So here I have in progress, that is one of my lanes. And if I hover over this, I'm able to see an aggregate value on each of those. Now this becomes very handy if I'm a manager, if I want to see how much we can achieve in this month, right? So I can just simply see that in progress, this is how much we can achieve in this month. Whereas we can see how much is on hold or maybe I have lost or on the verge of losing it, right? So I can just make my team focus more on hold rather than the cancelled ones. So again, and how much we have already achieved. So this is nothing but the aggregate value that you can have or you can configure any numerical value so that you understand what is happening with your business. You don't actually have to open up each of them individually, right? Now, similarly, again, since we are focusing on one particular lane, now you see the lanes are divided based on different stages of the opportunity, right? But if you closely look at it, not only the lanes are vertically divided, but I have also divided them horizontally, right? So here in this as well, the cards are bifurcated based on their ratings, right? So these are my hot opportunities that I can see, then these are the warm opportunities that I have configured, right? And then I have cold opportunities, right? So these are the opportunities, or I say that these are the bifurcations that you can do so that it becomes much more concise for you guys to work on, right? If you start your day from working on hot leads, you can just simply start with hot opportunities first, finish them up, then go to the warmer ones and then the cold ones, right? And on the similar lines, we have also color coded each of them. So if you look very closely, the lines or the colors you are able to see, the hot ones are actually red, the warm ones are blue, and then the cold ones are actually green that you can see, right? So you can color code them for much more clarity and much more visual effects, right? Yes. Now, as I was saying that I have bifurcated this lanes based on a status that is rating for us. And as I have said that we are first going to work on hot leads as my day progresses. I first start with my hot leads, then I go to warm and then I go to cold, right? So once I have worked on hot leads, what I can do is I can simply collapse the entire row, right? Now, when I click on this one, it not only collapsed for one particular lane, but it has actually collapsed for the entire of the tool or entire of the board, right? So this is nothing but one of our new features that is, this is one of our new features that is swim lane. So here in the swim lane, what happens is the board is very much concise. The height you see is concise for hot ones. If I close them up, I am welcomed with the warm ones. If I close them up, I have the cold ones, right? So this way I can just simply work on them, say, from one particular board without any disturbance or without any hesitation. So what happens is here on cancel, there is only one hot lead, right? So it just don't start the warm ones right from here. It waits, completes the entire board for the entire table, and then starts the warm one, right? So this gives me a much more focused view on how I want to do it, right? Now I want you to, we have seen the global settings, then we have seen the board as well, how it is laid out. Now let me focus on one particular card over here, right? So let's say this is one of my opportunity that is, uh, you know, uh, that is in progress stage, right? Now I want to add a description over here. So if I want to add that, how do I add it? One of the option is I go on, on a separate tab altogether and, open it and then do my work, right? Right. The other option is basically just to open the card like this from the title here itself, make all the changes that I want to do. Like if I want to add any notes, I can do it right from here. If I want to add a description, I can do that, or any editing, right? And once that is done, I can just simply close this up and I'm back with the same board that I was on, right? Now, similarly, if I want to see the related records, right, or a lookup value, I can just simply add those over here. So here you see on the board, you are able to see certain information at a glance, right? So this is completely configurable. If you want to add any other details, any other fields, you can add them, right? And here you also have an option of adding a lookup value as well. So if you want to open that up, you can open that up as well, right? Now, again, since we are looking on the card, you see there are some quick action buttons also. So let's say if I want to create a task against this particular opportunity, what I can do is I can simply click on this activity button, a quick create form would appear. I can just simply type in my subject line, the description, and just make it save and close, right? So the task is created. I close this up. The task would be created in the backend in the timeline section of this opportunity, right? So here, what I've done is basically I have done all my day's work without actually shuffling the tabs. There was only one tab that I was working on, and I am focused only on that, and everything that I need to do is here. So the purpose of creating Kanban board is basically that you are able to do access anything and everything right from one particular board as much as possible, right? Now again, if you look at it, you also have an option of the owner representation over here, right? So these are nothing but the owners that I see. That is Ethan over here, that is the logged in user. So if I am a manager and I'm looking at the entire board, I want to see which this opportunity is handled by which person. So I can just simply click on or hover over it and I am able to see the name of the user, right? So everything that we have designed is keeping in mind that you are able to access any data from one particular board itself, be it a manager or a, a person who is actually working on this opportunity, right? Now, coming to the same lines, there's one more thing that I would like to highlight. Let's say I am a salesperson and I am only focusing on in progress, on hold, and one. These are the three stages that I only focus on. I don't have anything to do with the cancel or outsold and other tabs, right? And similarly, because I'm a salesperson, I only want to work on hot and warm leads. I don't want to work on the cold leads now, right? So I want only this part of my board, right? I don't want these two lanes. I don't want the cold ones or the blank ones. So how do I make a focused, uh, a board? So for that as well, we have a configuration that is advanced row and lane filter. Okay, wherein you can have uncluttered view for yourself, a personal view for yourself. So here there is all opportunity personal view that I have created for myself. And in this particular board, as you can see, I have only three lanes that I work on. So that is in progress, on hold, and one. And I only work on two of my, fields. So that is hot and warm. I am able to see that, right? So, and again, if you notice here, the collapse doesn't happen for the entire board because the swim lane feature is not activated here, right? So if you want to have a swim lane feature wherein the collapse and the expand happens all together for the entire board, you can make the configuration. If you don't want that, you can eliminate it as well, right? So entire of Kanban board is completely configurable. Yes. Right. Now, coming to these were the major features of Kanban board that we have recently introduced or we already have. One of the features that is again, very specific to our users who have actually given us the feedback was basically defining the height and width of the card. A lot of time our users actually had one particular size, and here if here you see that need to stock there, right? So the title is not completely complete over here, and to just to see the title I'll have to hover over it to understand what exactly it is, right? Need to stock what, right? So here in this upgradation what we have done is we have added a field wherein you can define the length of the card. Okay, so based on your respective headings, if it is more long, you can just expand the card width if you want, right? So if you have only two lanes, you can have the ample space or you can have the entire board space and have all your cards concised over here, right? So this is one of the features. And again, when I was working or when I was talking about the aggregate value, right? So here the aggregate value, the field name itself is such long that I am unable to see the actual value that that is going to come. That is the main part of my uh, use case. That what exactly amount am I getting, right? For what that as well, I'll have to hover over it. So to eliminate that, what we have done is basically we have added custom label to all these aggregate fields, right? So in the configuration, instead of writing the entire title of the CRM, that is, budget amount sum, what you can do is you can have a short abbreviation that is understandable to your business, right? So here we have added a small abbreviation over here or short form of it, that is budget amount sum, and I am able to see the actual amount right over here itself rather than hovering over it and visualizing it one to one, right? So here these were all the features of Kanban board that we have all together, right? So you have your business flows, you have the normal default stages. Once that is done, you can filter your lanes as well. Not only, sorry, you are not only able to filter your lanes based on the stages of the business process flow, but you are also able to filter your each of your lanes based on any value or any field that you have. Like I have here hot, and that I have done it with ratings, right? Now, coming to the board, you are able to see each of your cards very concisely. You have the option of opening it up. You have the option of editing it, making any of your changes, right? Now, as I was working on this, right, this is one of my boards that is very concise. I have worked on this and this is actually closed for me, right? So I have won this opportunity. All I have to do is just pick the card and just, move it in the one section, right? So it is as simple as it can get, right? So you can drag and drop your cards on any lane based on what you are working on. Now, a lot of people ask me that, once you're moving card from one stages to another, there are certain fields that needs to be filled in for us. right? That those are important fields, and if those are not filled in, uh, the card should not be able to move from one lane to another. And yes, we have that. All your important fields would pop up if those are not filled in. You'll need to fill in properly and then click on OK, and the next stages would be uh, the card would be on the next stage, right? So that is again taken care by us, right? So the drag and drop feature is pretty cool, that you don't have to actually open each of these cards like this and move it to the next station or the next stage of it, right? You don't have to do this next stage. You can simply drag and drop it and it will reflect over here itself, right? Now, what if I have to bulk migrate from one lane to another? So in that case, you can do that as well. You can just simply click on it like this. You can select one of your cards one by one, and then you can drag and drop them, right? So here one of them is selected, and then you go on the top over here. There is these three dots. You click on move to. All your lanes would be written over here. You can select which one you want to choose, and then the rows as well. If you want to add it in hot, warm, depending on your rating, you can just simply do that and move it, right? So this is how you can move bulk cards or one by one without actually opening it and without actually, doing the manual work that we have, right? So this was all about Kanban board as a whole. A Kanban board gives you a picture of what is happening with your business or with what is happening with one particular view of yours in one single viewpoint or a single board itself. You don't have to move between the tabs. You don't have to open the records individually in each of the tabs and shuffle between them. Everything and anything that is there is present over here. Still, if you guys have any questions or queries, you can just type them in the chat box. At the end of the webinar, I will be answering them. And in case if you have very specific need of your business and you want to have a one-to-one discussion, again, we can connect one-to-one and we can have a live demonstration and a discussion on your specific business needs, right? So this was the first tool that we were working on, that is Kanban board, right? Now we move for the next tool that we have is Map My Relationship, right? So as you can see in Kanban board, you are able to see your business in 360-degree, right? You are able to see how many records you have, in what stages they are on, what rating they are on, who is handling them, so on and so forth, everything about this business, right? With Map My Relationship, you can see what is happening with one particular record of yours. Okay, so here, as you can see, I am on one of my record, that is a datum. It is one of the accounts record, this one, and I am able to see what are its association in my entire CRM, right? So how many opportunities do I have with one particular record? How many accounts do I have? How many contacts I can reach out to, right? How many connections do I have in my system? So anything and everything I am able to see right from Map My Relationship in a proper 360 mind map view, right? So as I am on a datum, here itself, I am able to see there are 11 opportunities with a datum, right? So I want to see which are those 11 opportunities. I can just simply double click on them and the route would expand, right? Now here as well, I have used a feature called grouping. Okay, so I've grouped my opportunities based on their stages, that is lost, won, and open. So out of 11, I can see there is 6 of them that are open, and here also you get the option of getting the aggregate value, right? So that is I can get somewhere around 237,000 of revenue from this, right? And how much of it I have lost, I can see that as well. That is 19,500, right? And how much of it is already in my pocket, that is I have won is this much, right? So right from this board itself, I am able to group them and understand what are those. Now, if I want to see which are the open ones, I can just simply click on them and the expansion will happen. So these are the 6 opportunities that are in open stage for me, right? If I click on it, I am able to open the record altogether, like I said, Kanban and MMR, because these are visualizing tools. The whole motto over here is that you are able to do anything and everything from one single board, right? So here as well, I am able to open the opportunity. Though I was on account, I am able to open an opportunity over here. I am able to work on it. Once the working is done, I can just simply close this up, and then the board will return back to me, right? Similarly, if you want to have any actions on them, if you want to create an appointment, send them an email, you can do that as well, right from here itself, right? So the quick action buttons are also present for your use, right? Now here, as we are working on opportunity, here you can shift between the views as well. Let's say each of your views have separate, have separate filtrations, right? So there could be a part wherein in your open opportunity, you just want to have the open ones. You don't want to see the lost and one, the open one. So you can simply shift the view that is to open, and you'll be able to see only one filter of that kind, right? So we have taken care of the advanced filtration also, that is the views also, right? So that you don't have to every time see everything that is associated. You can only focus on what you want to see as an association, right? Now here, this was opportunity. Here I can also see there are 5 other accounts that are associated, or there are 4 contacts that are associated. If I double click on them, again, there is a grouping of male and female based on gender. This you can, again, this grouping is not necessary. If you don't want it, we can eliminate it as well. So if I double click on it, I am able to see these are the 2 contacts that I have, right? Sarah and Rene. If I hover over them, I am able to see certain information at a glance just to understand what are they, and then I can further expand them, right? So if Rene is also associated with any other contacts, right? Or if she is also associated with any other accounts that I have, right? So here it has become a closed loop, right, for Rene, because here a datum has 4 contacts, out of which one of them is Rene, and then the account is a datum, right? So it has become a very closed loop. The reason being that they are interrelated, right? So with this closed loop, you are again able to judge that the section or the connection is closed over here. You can move for the next one, right? So this is how, as you can see, actually I was working on a datum, that is one of my accounts, but from this particular view itself, I was able to reach to opportunity that is associated with a datum and the contacts that are associated with a datum. So basically with this board, you are able to see 360 view of what is actually happening with your account, and you can reach and you can understand in the entire manner how many entities are related, how are they related, and so on and so forth. And you can drill n level down. So there's no restriction on this. You can drill n level down to it. Okay. So this was more about map my relationship. And here you are able to see the entire relationship of one particular record that is present in your system, right? So if that is there. Now, a lot of people also work around connections, right? So there's an entity called connection in the CRM, and a lot of businesses work around that as well. And for that specific use, we also have one more control, that is map my connections, which is very specific to the connections over here. So instead of looking into opportunities, accounts, and contacts, what I'll do is I'll focus more on the connections, right? So let me expand this. If I double click on the connections, I am able to see the connected people, right? And their roles as well. And these roles are present over here in the legend as well, with color coded, right? So if you have more connections, this becomes much more easy for you to understand that blue ones are actually employee. This one is referred by, and here the black one is a personal connection, right? So with a datum, I see that Coho is actually one of my account is nothing but has one of my employees over there, right? Now, Jack Brown, one of my contact, is actually referred by A data, right? So here I can see the respective uh, connections and their roles as well in one single column, right? So this becomes much more easy for me to define because of this color coding and because of this legend over here, right? And at any point of time, if you want to add any new connections, you can add a new connection also, right? Yes. So if you want to have another connection to associated with it, you can simply select the related record, the role, that is it an influencer referred by or whatever you have in your CRM, and then you can associate with it, right? So you can update your connections, you can add new connections right on the go. Yes. So this was Map My Relationship, wherein you are able to see mind map view of what is happening with your records in one single tab. Now, a lot of the businesses that we are working on, and again our prospects also, were worried about the hierarchical view, right? So hierarchical view is nothing but it is a self-referential view that CRM usually used to provide in-house. So here we have added that particular control to map my relationship also. So hierarchical view is nothing but, let me hide this one first. Yes. So the hierarchical view is nothing but a self-referential view. If you have a relationship within your CRM, which is very much complex, right? Which has a lot of subsidiaries, which has a lot of organizations have a very complex relationship when it comes to parent and child, right? A lot of subsidiaries or sister companies are there. So for that, we have introduced this proper flow of hierarchy, right? So since we are working on a datum, it is on the center. Blue Sky Corp is actually the parent of a datum. So I am able to see one level up as well. And I here also see that Blue Corp also has one more parent. So if I open this up, that is Oceanic Tech, right? So I can see the upper level, hierarchy as well. And if I don't want to see the upper level, I can see the lower level hierarchy, that is the children's also, right? So I can see that a datum has five associated accounts or children accounts, right? And again, if I drill down, a adventure work has two of them, then your Airlines again has two of them, so on and so forth. It goes on expanding depending on the relationship that you have in your CRM, right? So this gives you a very clear structure in a proper tree format or a flowing format what is happening if you have a complex relationship. It becomes much more simple for you guys to actually navigate around each of them, right? Now coming to each of these cards as well, these are also very concise looking, right? You have your action buttons over here. You are able to see certain data at a glance. Here again, lookup fields are also present. So if you want to have a lookup, you can have a lookup. You can also add a revenue field if you want. So this is completely configurable, right? If you want to open up the record, you can just simply click on the title and the card would open up. Now here, while working, let's say, you want to add one more child under Pacific. So you can just simply create a record right from this view itself, right? So you can create a new record right from here, which would be a child for Pacific, right? Similarly, if you want to run any flow that is present in your CRM, you can run a flow as well, right? So this is the actions that you can take right from here itself, right? And we have recently introduced this navigation panel. So a lot of our users again mentioned that we cannot go on expanding each one of them. We want a navigation panel wherein we can simply reach out to any one of them depending on our requirement. So you can just simply have the flow right from here itself, right? If you want to reach to Pacific Tech, where exactly it is, you can just simply click on it and it will navigate to you, right? So again, if you have a complex relationship, instead of going on expanding from here, you can do it right from here. This becomes much more simpler and easy for you to use, right? So this was the hierarchical feature, a very new addition and a very popular one at that, that wherein you are able to see the entire of your entity in one single page in a tree flowing format, right? So your upwards hierarchy, upper level hierarchy, as well as your lower level hierarchy, both of them are taken care, right? Now, with that, we end both our tools, that is Kanban board and MMR. Now, let me go to the uh, yes, key features, and let's just revisit it. Like I said, first we saw was Kanban view, wherein you are able to see the lanes based on the stages. We also support business process flows. So in case if you have any business flows, you can have them as well. And we have recently introduced swim lanes, that is nothing but a very concise looking lane wherein you can bifurcate it horizontally as well based on any field that I have done was basically rating hot, cold, and warm. And I can collapse or expand the entire of the table with just one click, right? Then there were some quick actions that you can take with both our tools right from the card itself, right? So if you want to have a phone call, email, appointment, you are able to do it right from there itself, right? Now coming to 360 view of a record in a mind map view, that was map my relationship, right? So wherein you were able to see all your records, like one particular record, and what are the association with it in the CRM, how many entities it is associated with, and you can take actions on them, right? Then we also had a special control for connections, wherein you are able to see the connections in a much more color coded way, right? Then the child configuration, that is basically drilling n level down, right? So remember, we were actually on a datum, then we got on the opportunities, and if we further expanded our opportunities, also we were on code. Or if you guys work around code, you will be able to see associated codes with it. If you are able, if you want to see the cases around accounts, you can do that as well, right? So it drills n level down, and you can choose your relationships. Then comes the last feature, that was hierarchical view, wherein you are able to see a structured format, a very streamlined format of the upper level hierarchy as well as the lower level hierarchy of a particular record, right? So this is all I have for you today in this webinar of ours. Now, before we go ahead, I would like to answer all your questions. And before the question answer session, we have a short poll wherein all the features that I have shown you will be listed, and you can choose your favorite feature and you can just vote them. This helps us to understand, we are we working on the right direction, which one excited you more, so that we can focus more on the next release on that particular section, right? So the poll is on. You guys can go ahead and just answer them or choose your favorite ones, uh, and then we can proceed with the Q&As. So let me just close the poll and we can go for the Q&A. So, okay, Q&A is here. So let me just read some of the questions. Let me stop sharing and let me just have a few of the questions from the chat window and then we can, right? So one of the question was, can Kanban board be configured for other entities? Yes, it can be configured for all your entities, be it custom or out of box. Both of them are actually, uh, you know, equally there. So you can configure it for on a view level as well, on a record level as well. I didn't show that, but yes, you can configure it on a record level as well. Kanban drag and drop will impact on custom attributes that was made mandatory, but are not exposed in one dialog box. Just a second. So you'll need to add the fields in your BPF flow, right? Which are the important attributes that needs to be it custom or be it, the out of box traditional one. You'll have to add them in the business process flow stages, and then we will be able to, highlight it and we will be able to make it mandatory for you guys. And Dennis, if you have any further questions or you want to see how it actually works, we can connect one to one and we can help you with that configuration also, right? Uh, do view sector on my mind map works both for system as well as personal views? Yes. So you can, yes, the view selector works for personal as well as system views. You can have your advanced filters and you can just, shift between those. The hierarchical view as tree view, can this use filter view or it's just the entire related record in the hierarchy? So for now, Dennis, actually the tree view or the hierarchical view actually shows all the related records of that particular entity. It is not filtered based on any view. But however, if this is something that you need, or this is one of the features that you need, you can just let us know. And in the next release, maybe we can consider it based on our technical feasibility. But right now, it shows all the entire related record, or the child's as well as the parent one, right? So I think I have answered all the questions. In the meantime, if you guys have any question, you can just simply type in and I'll be happy to answer those as well. Okay, so I think I have answered all the questions. Let's just move for the next step. So for if you guys like any of our tools, both of the tools, you can simply go on the app source and just install it in your sandbox instance, run a trial of 15 days, see how it works with your data. And again, if you have any questions or need any assistance with the configuration, we can get on a call and we can help you out with the same. With that, I'll just end the webinar. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. It was pleasure presenting you guys, and I'll see you in the next webinar. Thank you and have a great day ahead.